after I wrote Whistling in the Dark, everyone said, "Oh, you have to write a sequel." And I went, "Never. I'll never write a sequel to that book, ever. It's way too, I just thought, no, I want those girls to stay right where they are and finish up the story right there." But then I started thinking about it. I thought, I wonder what's going on with those guys. And I would maybe like to sort of just start out and see if I could do that. Now, I had never written a sequel before. I had no idea how to do this, not a clue. And it was hard. Because when you're writing, the book takes place, by the way, the following summer, so these girls are still little. Everyone said, "Oh, you should make them grow up." I went, "They'll never grow up, ever." I wanted to get back to that same place, but you have to take into account everything that's happened to them the previous year. So when you're writing, the girls are impacted. The girls are changed by what happened to them in Whistling in the Dark. So that was kind of a challenge. And then I didn't know how much information should I give about Whistling in the Dark. So there were these weird little technical things. But I'll tell you, once I jumped in there, it was so great to be back in my old neighborhood. Because that book is set in my old neighborhood. And to revisit these characters again, like Mary Lane and just Sally and True, and it was fantastic. And to see what kind of spin all the events the previous summer had on their life, that was really interesting to me. So it wasn't difficult to be there, but it was difficult to work within somewhat. When I usually set out to write a book, I can do anything I want to. This is different because you have an already set structure, and you have the neighborhood setting already, and you have a lot of your characters, so you have to work more internally as opposed to bringing stuff in from the outside. So that was really interesting to me. And of course, I don't know what happens to me. I never start out to write these suspenseful stories. I would say, okay, no, this time I'm just going to write kind of a straight story. But then the stuff starts to happen, and I don't have any control over it. And it's really annoying. I'll start trying to go, okay, so now this is going to start out like this, and then this is sort of going to just happen, and then somebody ends up dead. It's just like, wait, no. But you have to, when you write, you sort of have to trust that part of you, your subconscious, to take you on a ride. And it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. And I can't tell you, it happened so many times. It happens all the time when I write. But in Whistling in the Dark, in Wonders, in all of it, it's just this amazing kind of thing that happens where I've lost control of the entire situation. And I'm writing, and of course, I know this is kind of an odd concept to understand, but the best way you can describe it is, how you're driving down the street, and then all of a sudden you look up and you've gone like a mile, and you don't actually remember driving that? That happens to you guys, right? Okay, good. Writing for me is kind of like that too. I sit down at the computer, and then I start to write, and then before I know it, it's time to go take a shower. It's that kind of state. It's like a zone kind of state. It's like getting into a groove. And once I'm in that story, I really am in that story. No matter what happens, I don't notice it. I mean, truly, I'm there. I'm really, really there. So I'm real lucky to be able to do that, I think, or else mentally ill. I don't know.